Maray na gabi kaninyo ngamin. Good evening. Congratulations to SadiRinconada for this very laudable project in celebration of the 2022 National Literature Month. Diyos mabalos sa imbitasyon na makataonin alukot o halipot na mensahe. Ako po si Jazmin Llana, kan Literature Department de La Salle University, taga Baaw. Ang tema kan selebrasyon para sa 2022, iyon muling pagtuklas ng karunungang bayan. Sabi ka National Commission for Culture and the Arts, ito ay, and I quote, bilang paghihikayat at paraan ng pagpapasigla ng interes ng kasalukuyan at nakaraang henerasyon pagdating sa pag-aaral, muling pagtuklas at pangangalaga sa mga kwento at karunungang bayan at ng iba't iba nitong mga forma at anyo. Close quote. Sabi man ni Michael Corosa, kang komisyon sa Wikang Filipino o KWF, this is an opportunity, according to him, to reminisce and recollect the memories of our race. I would like to highlight the critical context within which the return to or rediscovery of the karunungang bayan is being made. And this is, I believe, the continuing grip of colonialism for many of us, including myself, in our knowledge of ourselves, our nation, our world, and our future. That we need to rediscover means we have forgotten, that we need to recollect the memories of our race means these memories have been relegated to peripheral regions of our consciousness, if not totally rejected as unimportant, irrelevant, backward, superstitious, and inferior to knowledge that we learned through colonial education. Recent thinking on decolonization, for instance, by the Portuguese theorist Boaventura de Sousa Santos, calls forms of the karunungang bayan as artisanal knowledges, which are as valid as Western modern science in understanding our world. I simply call them performance, or embodied knowledges and creative expressions born out of our own experience and history. And they are knowledges, even wisdom, which are not only mushy, sentimental, or nostalgic expressions of our identity or even nationalism. Within these knowledges, we can discern our native structures of thought and feeling. According to the Pantayong Pananaw of Seo Salazar, there is a kalinangang bayan that has persisted among the people despite efforts by the educated elite to supplant it with a pambansang kultura o kulturang nasyonal that can be traced back to the assimilation efforts of the propaganda movement and the birthing of the nacion following liberal ideas learned from the West. He contrasts this kulturang nasyonal against the kalinangang bayan in what he calls the dambuhalang pagkakahating pangkalinangan, or the great cultural divide within Philippine society. It has to be said that these ideas have been around since the 1970s, but have been strongly contested primarily by those whose thinking has been shaped by colonial education or trained in the West. The theme for this year's National Literature Month should provoke us into a self-reflexive response, since we too are still very much educated under colonialism or neo-colonialism, or the form it now takes, globalization. I'd like to reiterate, the karunungang bayan should not be just a sentimental add-on because we are celebrating our national culture and identity, or the National Literature Month. The challenge is for us to seriously rethink all that we know or how we are thinking and feeling. Not only about being Filipino, but about how we understand or make sense of our experiences, of our physical world, of science, of economics and politics, of our ethical relations with our kapwa. And the challenge is not to reject what we already know from our Western education. That would be foolish. But to critically interrogate them in terms of what we can learn from the Karunungang Bayan o Kalinangang Bayan. The challenge is not to privilege the past over the present, because the Karunungang Bayan is of the present, though deeply rooted in the past. It is dynamically contemporary. Only we have been used to thinking of it as makaluma, existing only in the form of myths and legends or proverbs and sayings of the old folk. I knock on your intellectual and artistic doors to rethink this, and I fervently hope your solid project will develop into further explorations of our Karunungang Bayan, especially in our very own Rinconada. Again, congratulations and thank you. Diyos mabalos.
Maray na aldo po kanata ngamin. Ako po si Ken Patrick de Lima. Sad na parasurat na naka-star. Pinangigin ag nagsusurat po para sa Banwaan Karing Canada. Today I hope to share 3 of my poems that I think are representative of the power of literature in continually transforming society for the betterment para sa ating mga Pilipino, para po sa tuyang mga Bicolnon, ag para po kanatang mga taga-Rinconada. Thank you very much po, and I hope you enjoy them. Typhoon approaching. Somewhere, the clouds gather where warm surprises. The waves are not silent, convection against calm, to organize into a raging mass of thunderstorms and violent gusts that rip through, disrupt, disturb, and devour the upper atmosphere. It grows, amasses strength from the fringes of the tropics, defying cold fronts and systems that prevent extremes occurring. Eventually, it forms its eye, a stillness, tranquility within concurring Coriolis. Peace, after all, is not absence of violence, but resolve against the storm. The metrics are overthrown. No more millibars in miles per hour. It resists meteorology and weathermen in suits, and tear away walls and roofs, city halls and banks. Its wake left clean, but rebuilt. It will be rebuilt. When winds are weak no more, the storm heads west to wreak its havoc. Inwaras. The only beauty loved is when unfathomably seen. Such beauty like this river, that cliff, a poem, its poet, and that one who made all and is mothered by the trees. But it isn't God, so it seems, or so the birds agree. For beauty isn't made for me, my body, my soul, and that one who made all and is covered by the leaves. And in this river where beauty runs aloft the rocks and grains, I see the cliff that hovers over me, the skies, a poem, and that one who made all and is smothered by the seas. Only to look at, not see, to will but not reach, or bother at all, for they all seem to be, but never for me, and that one who made all is but thought to be pleased. Growing Roses. Epigraph reads, "To be haunting is to be suspended in a dream between past and future," by Resel Mahares. The stems never begged. They dug into dirt 14 layers deep, each cut without consent. Sampaguita shamed and shunned. They welcomed the buds, a renaissance. Sampaguita in the corner, a disappointment. Must it be what a rose is not? And bloom, scent inviting, red demanding touch. Thorns may prick, but the skin is numb. Blood offered to petals, flesh to roots. On the gardener's passing, its ashes a rose is grown, not calluses nor dirt under nails, to pass from daughter to daughter, sons to sons, to graft new stems against older ones, For a bounty of beauty from a garden only a rose could provide, and thirst and hunger to bloom in every corner of the earth, every node a promise, even where the sampaguita grows. For it is not as beautiful as the rose. Yan po yung mga tula na inaalay ko sa inyo ngayon. Ang unang tula, Typhoon Approaching, ay isang lyrical na dramatisasyon ng isang revolusyon na gumagamit ng bagyo bilang imahe. With a rich tapestry of revolutionary and activist literature sa ating bansa, ay lagi pong may lugar ang ating aktivismo at ating mga advokasya sa ating, di lamang sa ating politika, kundi sa ating pagsusulat. In Waras, yung pangalawang tula, sees the failures and successes of literature, poetry in capturing beauty and the lack thereof. Bilang may hawak ng papel at ng lapis, tayo ang may kakayahan na ipakita ang kagandahan o di kagandahan ng ating lipunan. At ang panghuli, Growing Roses, ang panghuling tula, Growing Roses, ay pinapakita ang kultural na bagahe ng kolonyalismo na patuloy pa rin na nakikita sa iba't ibang aspeto ng ating pamumuhay, tulad na lamang ng panitikan ng sining. Bilang mga individual, kolektibo na aware na sa ating pambansang pagkakakilanlan, ay nararapat lamang nating iwaksi ang makakanlurang mga gawi na hindi nagre-represent sa pagpapahalagang makapilipino. Bilang pagtatapos, gusto ko magpasalamat sa lahat na naririto at nanonood sa SadiRinconada. At nais ko lang paalalahanan ng lahat na sa pagtatapos ng pambansang buwan ng panitikan, naway patuloy nating suportahan ang ating mga lokal na manunulat at patuloy rin nating suportahan ang paglago ng ating pambansang panitikan. Maraming salamat.
Alam mo na ba ang kwento ni Raga? Magiting na anak ng Bicolana. Kung hindi, halina at umupo upang makinig sa aming munting alay kwento. Nagngangalang si Raga. Hindi naman kasi lahat ng lalaki dito sa Kapatagan ay katulad mo, Raga. Ikaw ata ang stranghelyo dito, Raga. Pagpaumanhin mo naman. Ikaw ang asog ng bundok? Ikaw ang pumatay sa aking ama? Mga takot o da naaabot. Di ba lagi yan ang sambit ng oragon mong lolo? Una, ang pangangaso ay isang banal na gawain. Ikalawa, hindi ito laro. Ikatlo, ito ay pinag-aaralan at natututunan. At ang pinakahuli at pinaka-importante, kahit anong mangyari ay huwag mong babahidan ang iyong sarili ng tao. Isa itong sakit na makapagpapatumba sa iyo. Yan ang kautusan ng pangangaso sa aming pamayanan. Saka sabi mo yun, di ba, Maulamon? Tiningnan ni Raga ang hawak-hawak niyang ulo ng pinakahuling babaylan ng Bicolana. Ang mga takot, uda naaabot.
Pabaon sa mangingibang buhay ni Rolando Estino. Pagpalain nawa ang iyong landasin at palaring sadya bawat kakayanin. Kung may hinahanap, susi matuklasan ang lumang pangarap, oras ng maglaman. At kahit mangyaring limutin, hayaan pagturing na dating pinakaingatan, isipin na lamang na gayon ang buhay, may kahiwagaang di matantong tunay. Hindi malalaon dating katamisan, kahit magkataon at sukat mong iwan. Tanging hinihiling sa puong kaybait, ang bala mong hingin ay huwag ipagkait. Ang kinabukasan sadyang mamulaklak, nang di kukupasan ng ligayang ganap. Bukang liwaywayan kung gabi daratnin, kusang mahanggahan ang anong babathin.
Kabaya sa mga taong lipod, o kaya sa mga tae nahihiling kan sa tong mga mata. Malaigwada ang nahihiling sa may higod, o garing daiman akong nakakasabatan. Nagtutubod kabaya sa istorya kaniba, manungod sa mga kapriaswang tikbalang, makangalas manan mga bagay naan. Tunay daw ano utik-utik man na, pero matubod ka daw kung sabihon ko nga ining tiktatago ko ba ko ini huna-huna, lalo na ba ko ini kurukalwa. Marina, mapasantigwar kita, ipapahiling ko sa imon sa kong namamati. Marina, mapasantigwar kita, pag mahiling mo sana magtubod ka na muyata ka. Tadai ako, nakahero kami nagtabi-tabi po, kaya naigo ako kanahiling takang diyo. Pero please lang, mas kaya ko pang makahiling maligno kaysa mahiling kang may kaiba ng iba. Marina, mapasantigwar kita, papahiling ko sa imon sa kung namamati. Marina, mapasantigwar kita, pag mahiling mo sana magtubod ka na.